Okay, let's talk Minnesota Vikings. I've got some egg on my face because I honestly thought Minnesota was going to win. I definitely overestimated them. Let's hear what Colin has to say, and then I'll talk about it.
There's an argument that the two best coordinators in the entire league both play for Detroit. Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn. And Detroit's got a better roster. And they got one of their defensive starters back. And this is a baby step league. And Sam Darnold looked juiced. He looked a little overwhelmed. He probably couldn't hear. He was inaccurate and high on all his passes. But across the field, Jared Goff's first big playoff game, and this did feel like a playoff game. I mean, it was the biggest game in Detroit in 5 decades. It felt like a playoff game. Mike Tirico was coming out of his suit. Jared Goff's first playoff game at home, 78 passer rating. Peyton Manning's first playoff game, completed 45% of his throws. This has always been kind of a baby steps league. Last year at this time, Sam Darnold, who was viewed as a bust, was starting a meaningless game as a backup for the 49ers. And then there's yesterday, in the biggest game against arguably the best roster in the loudest field, you weren't winning that game. Minnesota was not winning that game. That's just one of those games. I looked at the playoffs this weekend. I looked at Denver at Buffalo. I love Sean Payton. That is a tough draw. There are games, a handful every year, where even a good team goes on the road and you're like, yeah, they're not going to win that game. That's a standalone game. This was the only NFL game that everybody was watching. Sam Darnold is just 27 years old. Now they go to Los Angeles. Their receiving core is a great matchup against the Rams' young secondary. Don't be shocked if the Rams draft a cornerback with their number 1 pick. They don't have a corner. They don't have a shutdown corner, and this is the deepest receiving core in the league. And it'll be 50% Viking fans, and my gut feeling is Minnesota's the play here. J-Mac disagrees.
I definitely agree. So I lived in Los Angeles for 17 years, and the last few of them that I was there, they had football. And I remember there was a game where the Chargers were playing. The Vikings fans filled up the whole stadium. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen against the Rams, but you're going to see a significant Vikings fan base at this playoff game. There's just a lot of transplants in Los Angeles, and they have a lot of disposable income. They are going to go to that game, and it's going to be almost like another home game. Is it time to panic for the Vikings? If you think they're going to win the Super Bowl this year, yeah. Like I thought they were going to be. I thought they were in the discussion. I thought for sure they were in the discussion, and I think I overrated them just a little bit because the Lions, yeah, they got a defensive starter back, as he said, but they manhandled the Vikings. The Vikings just were not up to the task. And I was pretty surprised. Like, Darnold looked so pedestrian. He looked really, really out of his element last night against Detroit. And I was not expecting that. I was expecting Minnesota to be up for the game. I thought Minnesota was going to win, but I also thought it was going to be like somewhat of a contest. I thought it was going to be a good game, come down to the fourth quarter. But Detroit just whooped them, and I did not see that coming at all. So, is it time to panic? Yeah, I think so. If you're like happy with how the Vikings have done and you're playing with house money and you're looking forward to the future, I don't think it's time to panic. That, however, was an eye-opener for the Sam Darnold stands, like myself, who saw him in college, was really happy he had a good season this year. That was an eye-opener because I thought Darnold was going to play better in their biggest game of the year, and the dude just shit the bed. He really did. He looked out of his element. I think going forward, I think you got to give him another chance. Maybe just franchise him next year and give him one more year because you got the rookie waiting in the wings to take over. He was injured this year. Get him another year holding the clipboard, but healthy, so he's practicing and he's getting reps and he's coming in garbage time. And if something happens to Darnold, maybe he steps in and never looks back. But I think Darnold has played well enough this season to earn another year. But I don't think Minnesota is going to win the Super Bowl. I really overrated them. Now I honestly think whoever wins the AFC is going to win the Super Bowl, which I kind of thought in the first place. I always thought Minnesota was going to go to the Super Bowl and lose to whoever is representing the AFC. And AFC's got a 3-headed monster with Kansas City, Baltimore, and Buffalo. It's going to be one of those 3. And they're going to win the Super Bowl, whomever that is. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Let me know what you think. But, yeah, Sam Darnold looked horrific. And you see the stat line on the bottom of... here, I'll blow this up so you can see it better. Well, maybe not. It doesn't want to blow up. But let's try that again. There you go. 18 of 41 for 166. Do you trust him to deliver in the postseason? I do for the first round. I do for the wild card round. I don't think the Rams are anything great. I don't see them getting out of the divisional round. I don't see them going on the road, probably to Philadelphia. Well, it would definitely be to Philadelphia if Philadelphia wins their first round. I don't see them going to Philadelphia and coming out of there with a win. It's just not going to happen. I don't see it happening. So I think a divisional round appearance is as far as you're going to see out of Minnesota. And I'm very surprised because I honestly thought they were going to be better. I expected better. Yeah, it was a road game, but Detroit also plays in a dome. So you got 2 dome teams going at it. Detroit and Minnesota, it's not like you're flying cross country. It's like an hour flight. It's a city that you play in every year. You're familiar with it. You're familiar with your divisional opponent, like the Lions. I really thought this game was going to be better, but it wasn't. It was one-sided. It was lopsided. Detroit, they're just a superior team, even with all the injuries. So Detroit's got to be the front runner to win the NFC. They really are. And good for them. I mean, they were the front runner all year. There was some doubt when they lost to Buffalo and had all those injuries, but they haven't lost since, and they're getting guys back. They're going to make a run. And good for them. Good for the fans. I don't feel as bad as other people do for Detroit Lions fans. Oh, whoa, misery. I don't feel that for them because Detroit Lions fans are also Pistons fans who, yeah, they're not good now, but they had their run. Detroit Red Wings, they're not good now. They had their run. I don't feel bad for Detroit fans. Anyway, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Sam Darnold, is he one and done in Minnesota? Is he getting another chance? Yeah. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough after this game to say he's the quarterback of the future, but I still think you give him another year. I really do. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!